Hi, this is David McCann for WebTNG. In this video, I'm looking at Doubly. It's a new plugin for copying and pasting content across websites. Amit Karan is one of the founders of Unlimited Elements, and he told me they had a new plugin, Doubly, for easy cross-domain copy and paste. I was given a copy of Doubly for testing. I gave feedback on an early version, and now it's reached version 1. This walkthrough will have a high-level overview of the features and then test it out by copying some content from one site to another. If you like the video, please subscribe. It helps to spread the word about the channel. There's a free version that's released in the WordPress plugin directory, and then the pro version from the Doubly.pro website. And this is the normal pricing here, $79 a year for unlimited sites or $9 a month for unlimited sites. The free version lets you copy and paste pages or Elementor content created with unlimited elements. The pro version adds the ability to copy and paste posts, custom post types, media files, WooCommerce products, and they're adding WooCommerce orders and WooCommerce users. The free version is kind of limited, so I'm going to be focusing now on the pro version. To test Doubly, I created a test site on InstaWP. So I've got a test site here with the free Cadence theme. You can see I've got a bunch of demo posts. And I've also got a custom post type, books. If we go and look at the plugins, you can see what I have installed. I have Doubly Pro, and we're going to test some Elementor also. So I have the free version of Elementor installed. And Doubly Pro uses Freemius. So when you activate or go through the process of connecting your site with Freemius, and then Doubly creates a admin menu item here, and the Pro version has two menus. The welcome menu just has some information and some links to the plugin site and for support. And then the settings page has two parts. This top part is for the regular copy and paste of content, your options for that for like posts and pages and custom post type information, WooCommerce, media. Okay, and you have the option of what you want to enable on your site. You can allow copy and paste, copy only, paste only, or disable the plugin. You choose the roles that are allowed to use the Doubly functionality. And so for these features, the users have to be logged in on both websites, the source and the target. The bottom part here, this is for Elementor, and you can copy from the front of the site sections of pages created with Elementor or created using unlimited elements. In addition to user roles like we have up here, there's also a guest option. And so what this means is that if you want to let people copy content from your site, maybe you're a designer or you've created some templates and you want to share those, then you can let people who are not logged in copy the sections from the front end of the site. So the user doesn't have to be logged in on the source site. They will need to be logged in on the target where the content's being copied to. Okay, you can exclude some pages, and then there's a learn more link. And so by default, it goes to the Doubly website where they have information there. But if you want to, you could change this and put the information on your website. We're going to do an example where we are using Elementor. So I'm going to go ahead and enable this guest option here. Now I'm going to go to InstaWP and let's spin up a new site. And we're going to use just, default WordPress here. We'll call this Target. And let's create a new site. Okay, and we'll go log into it. All right, so here we are. I'm going to add the Doubly plugin. So I'm going to pause the video while I find it on my computer, and then we'll continue. Okay, I've found the plugin here. I'm going to go ahead and install it and activate it. Okay, so this is the Freemius place where I enter my key for Pro. Okay, I'm going to paste that in, and you can look down here and see what data you're sharing. You see the developer has turned off sharing information about additional plugins and themes, so that's nice. You can activate. Okay, and then we have the Doubly Pro installed, and we have the settings like we just looked at. By default, we have the administrator, which I am on this site. Now let's look here. You notice all we have here is the Hello World host. Let's go back to the Doubly site, the Doubly testing site. Let's go to some posts and let's try just copying these. Okay. Tells me it's been copied. And now I'm going to go back to the target here, and there's this paste button. So I'm going to paste, and it says paste from the clipboard. Okay, and here are my 3 posts. Let's take a look and see, do we have our featured image? We do. Great, actually let's look on the front end. Yep, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's awesome. That was really easy to get the content from one site to another. Something that you should know is that you need to have the kind of infrastructure on both sites. So here on this site, I have a custom post type called books, okay, which has custom fields. I can't just copy this over to the new site because first I have to install the plugins that support it, you know, ACF and CPT UI, and I need to create the custom post type and custom fields. And then I could copy and paste the content over. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that. Let's add advanced custom fields. Let's update that. And then we'll add CPT UI, and we'll install and activate that. Okay, now we're just going to go to CPT UI, and there's some tools here. You see you can export post type settings. Okay, so I copied that to the clipboard. We'll go to Tools, and now we're going to import that. Now we're going to go and do the same with the taxonomy. Okay, so now I have the book custom post type here. Okay, so just as a reminder, what we're doing here is we're on the new target site, and we're copying over the custom post type and custom taxonomy, which we just finished. And next we want to copy over the ACF custom fields for the books. And if we look on the source site, Doubly Testing, we can see that it has the custom fields here, the book fields. I'm going to click on here, and one option is that ACF does have a tools menu just like CPT UI, and you can export the custom fields that way and then import them on the other site. But here's a cool thing with Doubly is that it supports copying ACF custom fields. So we have our field group with 2 custom fields, and it's assigned to books. And an indication that it's possible to use Doubly is that we have the Doubly links here at the top. So I'm going to click on copy, and it says copy field group, and we have an option to copy it to the clipboard or to download the zip file. So I'm just going to copy it to the clipboard. And it lets me know it was copied. Now I'm going to the target site that does not have the fields. I'm clicking on paste, and I'm going to do Control V, and there it just copied. Oh my gosh, that was so easy. This is awesome. Here are the fields. Here it's assigned to books. If you've done this before manually, it can be a little bit of a job to recreate a custom post type on another site. So this is very easy, and that's a nice feature. All right, so we have now the infrastructure for our books custom post type. Let's just go and look, and we'll see we have the title in the content area. We have the genre, we have the featured image, and we have the 2 custom fields, author's photo and author's website. Okay, so what we want to do now is we go back to our source, and here are the book records. We have a dozen of them. So I'm going to click here, and just to show you how you export as a zip file, we go to bulk actions, and here's the option to export zip. So I'm going to apply this, and I'll save it to my hard drive. Okay, and I asked about how many records you could do using the clipboard versus exporting to a zip file. The answer was it kind of depends on your server. And a dozen records I'm sure would probably work through the clipboard, but I'm just going to do it with a zip file. Another reason you might want to use a zip file is you kind of have an archive, and in case you need to do other things, that way you don't lose it from the clipboard or something. So I've exported that now to the zip file. Let's go here, and we're going to click on the paste option. I'm going to click on import zip, and I'll find that on my hard drive, and now it's importing and the book records are imported. That's fast. And if we go look at a record, we can see here's the title, the content, here's the genre, the featured image, and the 2 ACF custom fields have been filled in. Now, one thing that I did note is that when you import, you're going to import as the person who's doing the import. So in this case, the username is target, because that's what InstaWP used, created it, and I didn't add a user. So one thing I asked the Doubly team that would be cool is if we could import users, copy and paste users. They said they would look into it, and so I think that would be an awesome feature also. What we've seen so far is that it's easy to use Doubly for copying the ACF field group, for copying the custom post type records, and for copying the post records from site to site. So one last thing I want to look at is copying site to site Elementor sections. So let's take a look at that. Okay, so let's go to our source site, and you see we have Elementor free installed here. So I'm going to go to pages, and here's the test page I created with Elementor, so let's look at that. Okay, so I have a section here, and in the section I have 2 columns. I have an image, and then I have a heading and some text. Let's go look at this on the front end. So here it is. And now on this source site, I'm going to go ahead and log out. Okay, let's go back to the test page now that we're logged out. And look, when I hover my mouse over the Elementor content, there is the Doubly button that shows here contextually with the option to copy that section. Okay, so now I'm going to go to our target site, and just for fun, I'm going to show you that we don't have to have the pro version of Doubly installed. We can do this with the free version. So I'm going to deactivate this, and I'm going to add the free version of Doubly from the WordPress plugin directory. So I'm going to go back here now. I'm going to copy this section. Okay, so it's copied. And you notice I'm going to go to the target site. You notice we don't have Elementor installed yet. So let's install the free version of Elementor. Okay, I'm just going to skip the onboarding wizard. Let's go to a page and add a new page. And we'll call this Doubly target page. I'm going to save that, and we'll edit it with Elementor. And just so we can kind of see what we're doing here, I'm going to add a section, and we'll add a heading here. Okay, and this looks different than the source page because this site, remember, we just spun up a default WordPress install, so that's using the 2022 theme. So I'm going to save that, And now let's go to this page on the front end. Here we are. Here's the page. I'm going to go to the Doubly paste link. It says paste from the clipboard or import zip. I copied the section from the other site to the clipboard, so I'm doing Control V to paste. And now it tells me to choose a place to paste the section. So I go down, here is the Elementor content area, and I can paste above or below. Okay, so let's just paste right here. And voila, the section was pasted in. It looks a little different. Remember that 2022 has that very thin content area. Block-based themes tend to do that because they don't have a sidebar option usually. Okay, so there's our Elementor content pasted in. We've looked at using Doubly for post content, for ACF field groups, for custom post type content, and for Elementor sections. So now let's have some discussion and conclusions. Doubly was easy to use and very fast. This is a great tool for setting up new sites and copying standard pages like about or contact pages. It's also a good way to copy posts and custom post types from one site to another. And as we saw, copying an ACF field group was pretty slick. We also saw how you can provision or make available Elementor pre-designed content on one site and share it with other people. And your visitors then can use the free version of Doubly to access the content you've shared and copy it to their own sites. One thing to keep in mind is that Doubly is at version 1. A couple of times while I was testing, I had a question or an issue. I found that support was very responsive and issues were resolved quickly, so that's good. But since it is version 1, you might come across some glitches, and in that case, I would reach out to the Doubly team. An idea I had while I was testing, which came up and is shown in the video, is it would be nice if it was possible to copy users across from site to site. I mentioned that to the Doubly team, and they're checking into it to see if that's a possibility. And so that's another reason to reach out to the team when you're using Doubly, is they're looking now for feedback and for suggestions. They really want to build Doubly out and add features to make it a very useful tool. I think freelancers, agencies, people setting up demo sites, designers, and many others will find a use for Doubly. It's a nice tool, and it makes tasks that are sometimes difficult very easy. I hope you found the walkthrough of the new Doubly plugin interesting and useful. There's a text version of the video available on the WebTNG website, along with other walkthroughs, reviews, and resources. Thank you for watching.